Distinguished guests, graduands, their families and friends, Bond University colleagues, welcome to this ceremony for the conferring of degrees in the Bond Business School and in the Faculty of Law. It's my pleasure to introduce to you Bond University's Vice-Chancellor and President, Professor Tim Brailsford.
Well, good morning, everyone. And what a wonderful day this is. Graduation ceremony is always a fantastic event. They're special events because they represent the culmination of many years' hard work by our graduands who are present here today. And so this is your day, and while there is inevitably some ceremony associated with it, we do like dressing up from time to time. And that formality will extend throughout the morning. I certainly hope that you find time during the ceremony to reflect on your own personal achievements, and certainly after the ceremony that you celebrate with your family and friends. Thank you for being part of this wonderful occasion, ladies and gentlemen. To the family and friends who are present here today, thank you for your support of our graduands, and thank you for sharing this day with them. I'm sure they're very excited. Allow me to commence by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land on which we meet. And I pay my respects to their elders past and present. I do so in the spirit of reconciliation. I welcome you all to Bond University, and I would like to particularly acknowledge the University's 8th Chancellor, the Honourable Dr. Annabelle Bennett, AOSC. That's that person over there. Her husband is also here, Dr. David Bennett, ACQC. We're delighted to have the presence of the Chair of the Bond Alumni Advisory Board and University Councillor, Mr. Derek Cronin. I note in the audience that we have former Councillor Ms. Bronwyn Morris here as well. To our occasional speaker, who I'm introduced formally in just a moment, Ms. Anne-Marie Burkle. Anne-Marie and your partner Nell is here with us today. To the patron of the Obedience School of Architecture, Dr. Sahel Obedian, and his spouse, Miss Anne Jamison Obedian. Sahel, thank you for your continued support, and we still share the passion and the vision, my friend. To other distinguished guests, to proud parents, to family members, my fellow colleagues behind me here at the university, and of course today's graduating class, welcome. And I particularly welcome those of you who have travelled far and wide to be here. Among those is the Chancellor of BBT University, Dr. Kenichi Ome. Kenichi and his colleague, Dr. Sono Kadanaga. Sono, I believe you're here somewhere. There you are, Sono. They are great friends of Bond University, and they've travelled from Tokyo to be with us today. Bond has been involved with BBT University in Tokyo now for over 15 years, where we jointly offer a business management MBA program. And some of those Japanese executives are here today who have also travelled from Japan, and welcome, and you will graduate. Around the room you will see the flags of the nations from whence our students have originated. And occasionally we have students who come across the stage and they say, I can't see my flag. Hopefully everyone today, we have your flags up there. But you can see the richness and the diversity of our student population, and it's something which we're incredibly proud of. That in today's world, where increasingly the world seems to be becoming more insular and more nationalistic, we pride ourselves on global mobility, global recognition and global citizenship. It has been our way since day one and will continue to be our way. We remain proud to be different. We are Australia's first private university, and that is something which we take deep pride in. You each have a copy of today's program, and I ask you to follow that program. You will see that each of the graduands is named, and as those graduands come up to graduate, I ask that you respect and acknowledge each one of them, but certainly give them a very warm round of applause and recognition. So, ladies and gentlemen, now it's time to introduce our occasional speaker. Miss Anne-Marie Burkle has forged a successful and remarkable career in the field of technology commercialisation. She has worked with hundreds of early-stage technology companies as senior executive, mentor and business coach. An active member of the innovation community, she is an industry fellow with the University of Queensland's Business School, director of the John Hine Entrepreneurial Challenge, and a member of a number of government and university advisory groups. Her current position is partner of One Ventures, which is a venture capital firm that has over $300 million in funds under management. One Ventures is a strong source of early-stage technology innovation opportunities, especially for those young and aspiring companies which seek global relevance in the clean tech, information tech and telecoms space and life sciences. Anne-Marie is also a director of the ASX-listed energy storage company, Redflow Limited. She was previously chief executive of the Queensland Government's incubator, known as iLab Incubator Proprietary Limited, and that was named under her leadership in 2006 as the Australian Incubator of the Year. She has been president of the Women in Technology Industry Group and spent 5 years in the senior management team at UniQuest, which is Australia's most successful university-aligned commercialisation company. Anne-Marie's interest in technology commercialisation was forged over 15 years in leadership roles in the agribusiness sector, developing and commercialising new cultivators of ornamental, aquatic, food and forestry plants. She has personally been a significant equity partner in both a plant breeding propagation company and a technology commercialisation firm. Anne-Marie holds an honours degree in science from Flinders University and an MBA from the University of Queensland. She is a fellow of the Institute of Management and a member of the Institute of Company Directors. But in addition to her professional and industry achievements, Anne-Marie has long been an advocate for the promotion of women in science and technology. She's been a leader in promoting the little-known achievements of female scientists and technologists, and she has called for greater acknowledgement, support and recognition of women today. It's a great pleasure, ladies and gentlemen, to have Anne-Marie Burkle with us. Will you please welcome her to the lectern?
Good morning, Chancellor, Vice-Chancellor, faculty, alumni and most importantly graduates and their family and friends. Thanks for your warm welcome here this morning and for the honour of being with you today on what I know is a very special day for you all. Graduates, you've received a most splendid education at this wonderful institution. You'll know by now from that rather long introduction that I work in the field of innovation. And I have to say that when Tim asked me to speak today, I was particularly excited because Bond University has a long and illustrious record of promoting the qualities of innovation, resilience and adaptability in its graduates, not only through integration of these concepts into curriculum, and I'm sure you've all been exposed to some of that, but through great programs like the Transformer program, recently Pitch Palace, and I believe the winner of that initiative is actually in the audience today. I'm very excited to meet her. And very many other initiatives that put Bond at the forefront of innovation practice in universities, not just in Australia, but in the world. You're about to go out into a workplace that's in a state of flux. Automation, digital platforms and other innovations are changing the fundamental nature of work. And I know that that's at the same time exciting and in many ways very scary. You're going to encounter some tremendous highs during the course of your careers, but there's going to be some challenges. And the measure of you is not going to be how you celebrate the highs, but it's going to be how you deal with the lows. As Theodore Roosevelt once said, nothing in the world is worth having without doing unless it means effort, pain and difficulty. In the next few moments, I want to speak to you about resilience. It was resilience that enabled three guys to go from renting a mattress to building a multi-billion-dollar company called Airbnb. It was resilience that helped our Queensland professor Ian Fraser to develop a vaccine that within a few short generations will cure the world of cervical cancer. And it's resilience that enables athletes to train for hours a day for many years on end to come last in a 10-second foot race and then get up and train again to do it in another 4 years. It's the secret ingredient in every so-called overnight success, and I consider it to be the most important personal attribute that will help you meet the challenges of this new world of work. As a technology investor, I meet a lot of entrepreneurs. One of the things that separates the successful entrepreneurs from the pack is their resilience, their capacity to push through incredibly challenging situations, to face adversity, then pick themselves up and carry on. It is resilience that's enabled them to deliver us drugs to cure disease and alleviate pain, devices to improve how we communicate and process information, new ways to fuel our homes, and new foods to grace our tables. We are so used to the pace of innovation these days that we're fooled into thinking that these new daily miracles come easily. We are wrong. As Steve Jobs famously said, if you look really closely, most overnight success takes a lot of time. I'd like to tell you a personal story of innovation from a scientist that I know well. Back in the late 1990s, a researcher at the University of Melbourne called Vern Bowles made a remarkable discovery. He found a compound that kills insects at all stages from egg to louse to adult. He realised he was onto something really big, and he left a plum roll at the university, raised a little cash, and set about applying this science to the problem of blowfly strike in sheep. Trouble is, the product didn't take off because the existing treatments were good enough. But Vern didn't give up. He realised that the real money was in the treatment of head lice and scabies in humans. The company pivoted, raised more capital, appointed a CEO and board, and went hard for several years and then ran out of money. Over the course of the next years, Vern was CEO, then he wasn't, then he was again. The company had money, then it didn't, then it had money again. He was paid, not paid, paid again. His equity was eroded, but he didn't give up the faith. In 2010, my company, One Ventures, led a syndicate that backed Vern's faith with $26 million. 5 years later, the company struck a $297 million commercialisation deal with Dr. Reddy's. It was a success. If you've done the maths, you'll know that Vern stuck in for nearly 20 years through some really, really tough times. He could have stepped aside at any time into a lucrative research role, but he held fast to the faith that he could deliver. To me, that's resilience. So what can you learn from resilient entrepreneurs like Vern? Some people think that resilience is something you've either got or you haven't, and you won't really know until you're tested. Well, I don't believe that's true, and the good news is that the research supports that view. So what I would like to share with you are 5 things that I think you can do to improve your own personal resilience as you go into this new and uncertain world of work. Number 1, do work that is meaningful for you. You don't have to save an endangered species or cure cancer, but whatever you do, make sure that it's something that aligns with your own personal values system. I've spent 30 years now working in the field of innovation because I'm motivated by a passionate belief that our future prosperity relies on it. I believe that the companies that we invest in will create the jobs and prosperity to underpin a sound, solid Australian economy. Because this is a deeply held belief, I've been able to ride out the highs and, I'm afraid to say, many lows of what's a very challenging career. Secondly, take care of yourself. Good health is fundamental to both emotional and mental resilience. Too many of us wear our sleepless nights, our long sedentary working days, and our poor eating habits as a badge of honour these days. Eat green stuff, drink less alcohol, perhaps not today. Don't smoke, ever. Run or dance or go to the gym, whatever it is, keep moving every day. And look after your mental health too. Cultivate friendships, continue the ones that you've made during the course of this education. Be present in your interactions with your loved ones and take time out for self-reflection and relaxation. Point 3, one of my favourite sayings in the whole world: hope for the best, but plan for the worst. Maintaining a positive and optimistic outlook is critical in your personal and your professional life. But bad stuff happens, and being prepared for that possibility will make it easier to deal with. This is why businesses have disaster recovery plans, why we take insurance, why we wear our seatbelts when we drive, back up our computers and lock our houses, not because we're tempting a tsunami or a flood or a computer hard drive crash, but because by having those plans in place, we have peace of mind and the ability to focus on the things that are really important. My fourth point, give generously of yourselves to others without an expectation of giving back, whether this is mentoring in the workplace or volunteering in the community. Acts of kindness repeated often have a protective effect that comes into its own when we're under stress. And this isn't just wishy-washy mumbo-jumbo. I'm a scientist, it's real science. When we do good things, our brain triggers the release of serotonins, which regulate anxiety, happiness and mood, all things that improve our resilience. And finally, number 5, be willing to evolve. When I was an undergraduate, it was possible to plan the next 10 or 20 or 30 years of your career. Noted futurist Rohit Talwar believes that children today can expect to hold 40 different jobs and 10 completely different career paths in their lives. So you see, the world of work really has changed. The key to being successful in this new world of work will be your adaptability and your aptitude for continuous learning. Sometimes your life's going to feel a little bit like being a trapeze artist in a circus. You'll experience the thrill and elation of flying through the air, while risking the possibility of coming crashing down to earth at any one time. The best way to ensure you don't break when you crash is to have a safety net in place. As you move into the brave new world of work, I commend you to take action daily to make resilience your safety net. I guarantee that it will be a worthwhile investment. Congratulations to you all on reaching this milestone. To quote Henry Wadsworth Longfellow, "Go forth into the shadowy future without fear," to which I would add, because you are resilient and prepared to meet the challenges you face. Best of luck and thank you.
Before I start and thank Anne-Marie, I just want to mention one thing. This is a family occasion, and I do notice that there are some younger members of people's families in the audience. I'm sure that you'll all appreciate that some of those children may make the odd sound. They are future Bond students who wish to make sure that we know that they're here. I don't think anyone will mind if they do make their presence felt occasionally, and I certainly would hope that no one would feel they have to go outside because of a young child, because we want them to get the vibe of Bond while they're here. I think that I think you'll all agree that Anne-Marie gave a really inspiring and very interesting and worthwhile address to you, and one that I'm sure that you will remember, because graduation speeches, it's amazing how often the points that are made are things that you haven't necessarily thought of yourself, and that you can bring them forward for yourselves and adopt them, because this is the moment when you do listen to that sort of thing, and you don't always get people to tell you, give you a philosophy of how to go forward. I know that she mentioned her 5 things. I'm not going to repeat them, although I did take note of them for myself. But I think what comes down to it in the end is, if there were 3 words that I think came out of it, it was challenge, flexibility and resilience. And I think that with all the technology that's happening today, what she's saying to you is you've got to be true to yourself and know what it is you want to do. And if that means chopping and changing during your life as more things become meaningful for you, then have that flexibility, because you won't lose by changing and taking on a new opportunity if that comes. But if things don't work out on your first choice, that's where resilience comes in. And sometimes it's not your first choice. You never know. Sometimes what you thought was your first choice doesn't end up being that. And what you end up with is actually much better, and I know that's happened to me a number of times. So I'd like you to join with me, though, in thanking Anne-Marie for reminding you of the need for flexibility of thinking adaptability in your future lives, and above all, remember that there is a question of resilience, and even if you're not running the 100 metres in record time and have to get up if you don't win and do it again, it is important in your own future. So please join with me in thanking her again. Well, many of us in this room, you are now finishing off your time at this university, for this degree at least. I hope a number of you are coming back. But my own experience of universities, and I've been a student and I've been a researcher, I've certainly been a parent and a pro-chancellor, and now a chancellor, has confirmed my belief in the positive benefits of a good education. Universities are very special places and they're subject to a lot of challenges, but I think it's really important that we all do what we can to protect them and to help them to prosper. But let me turn to Bond, because I've been Chancellor here now for over a year, and it's become really apparent to me what a special place Bond is. I think part of it was evidenced just the week before last, I think it was, I lose track of time. Prince Andrew was here for Pitch the Palace. And I think it's fair to say that I got the vibe, and I think it's correct, that he thought his day at Bond was very special. But what was really interesting for me in walking around with him was when he stopped and he was talking to some of the students, and completely unplanned, and I don't think they thought it was coming, he asked them why they liked Bond and why they were here. And as Chancellor, I can tell you, I sat there and I was gobsmacked, because what they said was everything that we believe that Bond gives. They spoke about their love of the university, the special relationship with the staff, the advantages of the class sizes, the incredible vibe and the bond between the Bondies. And I was so proud to hear them speak of the university in the way that, it could have been a pre-prepared script, but it wasn't. So if that's what Bond engenders, then we're doing it right. And I'm hoping that all of you have that same appreciation and attitude towards Bond, and that you'll remember it, because one thing about Bondies is when they go out, they're always Bondies. I can go to functions and meet someone and they say, oh, I went to Bond, and there's this instant moment of recognition. So you keep that and make sure that you remember the university, come back for homecoming, and importantly, help each other and future Bondies. If you get a chance to reach out to another Bond graduate, whether they're ahead of you, behind you, in timing or whatever, mentor them when you get to the stage when you can, ask them to mentor you, help each other, not only personally but also in the job space, and don't forget the university, because that's a really important part of it. Because this place is special. It has its own special characteristic, and that's why you have come here and why your friends and family who are here have gone through so much to put you here. We know that many people here today have sacrificed themselves to help their loved ones come to Bond as a student. We appreciate that. We know that it's not always easy because this is not a publicly funded university. I'm sure most of you have worked that out by now. But we appreciate the support that the parents and the friends and family have given to the students to enable them to go through this university. I've sat there as a parent of a Bondie, and I know what it's like. I also know that you're sitting there waiting. There's always this horrible moment where I was always afraid with my children before they graduated, where somebody would stand up and say, "Not that one." And it's always that wonderful moment when your own family member actually walks across and gets that testament, and it's done, because it's something that you've worked for, and I know how proud each of you are of your own special student here today. But we are proud of them as a cohort, because they've all contributed so much to the university and they're going to contribute so much to society. So being Chancellor requires me to undertake some formal tasks, but one of the most enjoyable ones of those tasks is formally to admit the graduands, because despite Anne-Marie's one little slip in her speech, you're not graduates yet. You're still graduands, and so parents, hold your breath before they get transferred or transformed from the graduand to the graduate. So I'm looking forward very much to the presentation of each individual graduand which is to follow. But in the meantime, it's my very great pleasure to introduce the Bond University Orchestra, who is going to play a short musical piece. The orchestra is made up of Bond students who share a great love for music, and they volunteer to play at many Bond events throughout the year. And I know that you will join me now in welcoming them, and you will enjoy listening to what they play for us. Thank you so much to the Bond University Orchestra. We always enjoy hearing you play, and we appreciate the time that you put into preparing for these performances and the fact that you're here today. Thank you again. Now, as all the students would know and as all the rest of you would expect, the university is also full of outstanding academic staff who undertake groundbreaking research and disseminate the latest findings to the students. And many of those are here today, and many are here today because they've been part of your progress through the university, and on your behalf, I know you want me to pass on your gratitude and thanks to them as well. But now I call on the Chair of the Academic Senate to present the candidates for degrees.
Will all candidates for degrees please stand? Chancellor, I wish to present the following graduates who are in attendance today for admission to awards of Bond University. From the Bond Business School, 90 graduates, and from the Faculty of Law, 76 graduates. Chancellor, I certify to you and to the university that the graduates have satisfied the requirements for admission to the award for which they are being presented.
With the authority of Council, I hereby admit you to the awards for which you have qualified. I also admit to their awards those candidates listed in the graduation program who are unable to be present today. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the moment of graduation. Please join me in congratulating the most recent graduates of Bond University. Take a seat. We'll now move to the formal presentation of Testamus.
Chancellor, the following candidate is presented for the award of a research doctorate for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy with a thesis title, Role of Youth Bulge, Corruption and Government Size in Explaining Political Instability, a Cross-National Analysis, Nasser Salim Nasser Al-Jabri. Chancellor, I present graduates from the Bond Business School. The Executive Dean will congratulate each candidate after they have been conferred with their degree. For the Diploma of Business, Claudia Elizabeth East. Samuel Gardner. Enya Mason. Buddy Allen Modine. For the Bachelor of Actuarial Science, Srinivasan Santosh. For the Bachelor of Actuarial Science and Bachelor of Laws with second-class honors, Division B, Ryan James Starkey. For the Bachelor of Business, Shafiq Ahmad. Isabella Evelyn Bailey. Georgia Lee Dean. Colin Richard Howard. Alana Kelly. Matthew Alexander Knotze. Venetia Mahandran. Emily Rose McLean. Nur Shazlina Tan Binti Mohammed Sharil Tan. Biyama May Nona. Brooke May Renette. Shabaz Sandhu. Morgan Wilshire. And Han Yu Ya. For the Bachelor of Business and Bachelor of Commerce, Elena Isabella Chicchio. Michael Fletcher. Isaac Samuel Walcom. For the Bachelor of Commerce, Francis Walter Filler. Rebecca Sarah Aldea Gillingham. Lee Hall. Minglin Hugh. Astrid McIntosh. Xavier Zach Power. Lachlan Ross. Reese Shannon Purcell. Ashwini Subramaniam. And Samuel Joseph Walsh. For the Bachelor of International Hotel and Tourism Management, Hannah Mary Bardsley. Hongru Deng. And Shi Gong. For the Graduate Certificate of Business Administration, Deborah Melita Daly. For the Master of Actuarial Science, Priya Raja. And Blake Kane Shaw. For the Master of Business, Lars Maximilian Driesen. Danielle Louise Murray. And Chu Sheng Xia. For the Master of Business, International Business, Edouard Lafleur. For the Master of Business Professional, Felix Marithi Miriti. For the Master of Business Administration, Luke James Batup. Petra Borowska. Janine Finneran. Mary Lozano. Aaron Mark Walter Miller. Charlene Ravi Shankar. And Eugenia Simonova. For the Master of Business Administration, Corporate, Lori Argus. Yasmin Cox. John Royce Hildebrand. Kelly Marie Houston. Yaz Daniel Matbuli. Samantha Jane Priddy. Reese Turner. Janelle Catherine Vandeveld. And Roan Wood. For the Master of Business Administration, Corporate, with high distinction, Paul Alexander. For the Master of Finance, Philip Abold. Martin Bystrom. Dean Bradley Flewell-Smith. Peter Alex Munyu Mina. For the Master of Finance, Professional, with high distinction, Matthias Sand Madsen. For the Master of Financial Management, Vivian Aurelie Mueller. For the Master of Philosophy, Paul Michael Kelly. Chancellor, the university is proud of its long association with Business Breakthrough University. Together, we teach a Master of Business Administration program tailored to meet the needs of Japanese business. Dr. Kenichi Ome will present graduates from the Bond University BBT Global Leadership MBA.
Chancellor, I wish to present the following 40 graduates in the Bond University BBT Global Leadership MBA. Mamiko Kanekyo. Toshiyuki Matsuura. Yoshihiro Miki. Daisuke Minanokawa. Yusuke Miyoshi. Hirotaka Nakao. Yosuke Oishi. Hiroyuki Onishi. Takashi Sakakibara. Yoshiaki Shimizu. Ryosuke Suzuki. Kazuki Takizawa. Goshi Toba. Hiromi Toda. Takayuki Ueda. Tatsuro Yamazaki. 吉見柳沢、The following 23 are attending this ceremony through the satellite transmission. Graduate Certificate of Global Leadership, Makoto Yoshi, Masahiro Abe, Tomohiko Akasaki, Takeshi Fujimaki, Koichi Fukase, Takaaki Hadano, Mitsuo Iwasaki, Kuri Kishimoto, Tetsuro Matsubara, Sho Miura, Takehiro Nagatsuka, Alisa Nakamine, Hiroaki Nakazono, Kenji Nawamura, Kazufumi Ohashi, Yuka Sasaki, Kosuke Sato, Kenji Shiotsuka, Ayako Shirai, Hiroto Takahashi, Teruhisa Tanaka, Shugo Uehara, Yoshiharu Yamashita.
Chancellor, I present graduates from the Faculty of Law. The Executive Dean will congratulate each candidate after they have received their degree. For the Diploma of Legal Studies, Olivia Georgina Delinaklas. Aisha Elia. Megan Frances Gribble. And Helen Norman. For the Bachelor of Business Law, Alicia Jane Geary. For the Bachelor of Laws, Nicole Emma Burrows. Samuel Quillen Chapman. Rosie Elizabeth Kapoor. Monique Storch. Artculus Wong. Charmaine Shia Yi Wong. Timothy Wright. And Shannon Page Young. For the Bachelor of Laws and Bachelor of Arts, Jacqueline Joy McGraw. And Sebastian James Thomas. For the Bachelor of Laws and Bachelor of Business, Deborah Tamai Kochak. For the Bachelor of Laws and Bachelor of Commerce, Annabelle Millie Debenham. Brandon John Hassel Evans. Julian George Flanagan. Andrew Lee Quarry. Priyanka Sivani Naidu. And Christian Robert Whitfield. For the Bachelor of Laws and Bachelor of International Relations, Pia Conradson. And Daniel Hamilton. For the Bachelor of Laws and Bachelor of Journalism, Ashley Kate Gaydon. For the Bachelor of Laws with second-class honors, Division B, Simran Arora. and Brooke Mallard. For the Bachelor of Laws with second-class honors, Division B, and Bachelor of Arts, Edward Alexander Sinclair. And Lachlan Dean Stewart. For the Bachelor of Laws with second-class honors, Division B, and Bachelor of Business, Edward James Burrows Cheng. For the Bachelor of Laws with second-class honors, Division B, and Bachelor of Commerce, Benjamin Mick Carity. Joshua Norman Lane. Edward Langley. And Elizabeth Platts. For the Bachelor of Laws with second-class honors, Division B, and Bachelor of International Relations, Martin Thomas Ryan Campbell. And Jamie Jafar. For the Bachelor of Laws with second-class honors, Division A, Laura Abignano. Ayla Jane Briscoe. And Barry Hamilton Newell. For the Bachelor of Laws with second-class honors, Division A, and Bachelor of Arts, Shelby Jane Smith. For the Bachelor of Laws with second-class honors, Division A, and Bachelor of Business, Amy Grace Jackson. For the Bachelor of Laws with second-class honors, Division A, and Bachelor of International Relations, Penelope Alexandra Meaves. For the Bachelor of Laws with second-class honors, Division A, and Bachelor of Journalism, Vanessa Victoria Gillum. For the Bachelor of Laws with Honors Class 2, Timothy John Rothel. For the Bachelor of Laws with Honors Class 2 and Bachelor of Arts, Lana Marie Wilding. For the Bachelor of Laws with Honors Class 1, Sally Ann Crane. Alexandra Therese Meissner. Karina Jade Ross. And Lindsay Stankovic. For the Bachelor of Laws with first-class honors and Bachelor of Arts, Amy Koza. For the Bachelor of Laws with first-class honors and Bachelor of Commerce, Jake James Buckingham. And Ben John Hartziker. For the Graduate Diploma in Legal Practice, Elizabeth Bide. Xin Chen. Victoria Mitchell. And Catherine Ellen Smallshaw. For the Juris Doctor, Zaina Kilani Abu Mehta. Ricky Bai. Makeda Jean Ann Bramwell. Yidan Chen. Althea Dance. Kathleen Ananda Di Paolo Cortez. Teresa Iginla. Narangi Tekapua Ranjihuna. Shayla Shafiq. Rishi Kalyan Chandar Sharma. For the Juris Doctor with Distinction, Class 2, Magdalena Zenis. Zhao Yu Guo. Puneet Kaur Klar. And Russell Teese. For the Juris Doctor with Distinction, Class 1, Elizabeth Hatcher. And Lorna Morgan Howarth. The recipient of the Grenby Family Beyond Bond Medal and the Bachelor of Laws with Second Class Honors Division A and Bachelor of Arts, Carrie Lee Coles. Knock 'em dead, kid. Chancellor, the graduate who has been selected to give the valedictory address on behalf of the graduating cohort this morning is graduating with the degree of Master of Business Administration Corporate with high distinction. She graduates with a cumulative grade point average of 3.767 out of 4.0. She has been on the Vice Chancellor's list for academic excellence twice, the Dean's list of academic excellence once, has been first in class on 8 occasions, and has been presented with the Faculty of Business Award for EMBA academic excellence in each of her semesters. For the Master of Business Administration Corporate with high distinction and the valedictorian, Elise Kiara Gore.
Good morning, Chancellor, Vice-Chancellor, distinguished guests, faculty members, fellow graduates, ladies and gentlemen. By way of introduction, my name is Elise Gore, and like the original Bondi, I am a proud Western Australian. From the land where togs are called bathers, emu export replaces 4X as the state's beverage emblem, and our rugby teams last about as long as the Cowboys' hopes in the grand final. Too soon? Now, you may be wondering why a sandgroper would choose to fly across the country to study. Why Bond? Being an important decision, I did as any analytical person would do. Naturally, I made a spreadsheet. Not quite the calibre of Dr. Keith Duncan's epic valuations workbook, but nonetheless, a giant spreadsheet of every MBA program in the country set against those things that I thought were important: cost, duration, mix of units. What I overlooked was the human element, the people. I have been blown away by the high degree of personalised support that we receive at Bond from the academic, administrative and support staff alike. That, to me, is what really sets Bond apart. And it all started with the very first person from Bond with whom I spoke, Kathy Parkinson. I single Kathy out because she personifies that human element that is so unique to Bond. For those of you who haven't met Kathy, she is the MBA and EMBA coordinator with very valued sub-roles of support crew, caffeine and sugar trafficker, and solver of any and all logistical problems. Kathy is just one of many dedicated staff at Bond, and we thank all of you for having supported us through our degrees. Another very important thank you goes to our families and our friends. When you study and work full-time, something has to give. And aside from sleep, the exhaustion of my wine stocks, and just a little bit of sanity, that sacrifice fell largely on the people who mean the most to me, the person who means the most to me. So thank you to all of our families for putting up with our emotional and temporal unavailability, our financial burden, and our whinging about our latest group assignment dramas. As I was preparing for this address, I thought to myself, now what words of wisdom can I impart? And then I laughed and went back to trawling YouTube for the latest hilarious video of a cat dressed in a shark costume riding a robot vacuum. Look, there are literally thousands of years of scholarship in this auditorium today, and you're all graduates now, so I can teach you very little. What I can do, though, is tell you a story of one of the wisest people I've had the honour of knowing. Born into a humble farming family, this gentleman used innovative farming and business philosophies to build, with a few like-minded individuals, a farming syndicate that ended up growing to span the length of WA's arable land. He also partnered an investment startup that put back into the community, including the sponsorship of a young Aboriginal student who later went on to become a federal parliamentarian. The little spare time he had was invested in his family, his church, and numerous community groups. I very much doubt you know the man I'm talking of. His name was Alwyn Richards, and I'm proud to say he was my grandfather. Alwyn never had the opportunity to study beyond year 8, yet he had a lifelong love of learning, and he would have just thrived in a place like Bond. Yet he impacted so many lives through integrity, generosity, and leadership, and he used all of the resources available to him to better his community. My grandfather passed away just days before I started at Bond, and I think he'd be pretty proud to see us here today. I share his story to remind us that we need neither wealth nor a formal education to make a difference. Yet if we have resources, if we have a good education, we are in a position of incredible privilege. With that privilege, though, comes both opportunity and responsibility. We've been handed the baton of knowledge. Now we have to do something with it. Some of us will make a difference by being great leaders, others, great followers of worthy causes. Some will create the organisations and disruptive technologies that progress our society. Some will become the academics and teachers that ignite that love of learning in the future generations. And many will become the dedicated parents, grandparents, and role models of those generations. How we use our education, our privilege, is entirely up to us. My final recognition, and as I close, is of all of you. Congratulations on your achievements, and thank you for your friendship, support, and some great memories. I hope all of you were as blessed as our EMBA cohort was with a simply amazing, inspiring, and really fun group of people with whom we will remain lifelong friends. So thank you, and give it up for your 2017 graduates.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's a very inspiring valedictory address. Trust me, I've sat through many graduations and listened to many valedictory addresses. Elise, that's certainly up there with the better of them, so my congratulations. But let me also tell you a little bit more about Elise. You've heard about some of her academic achievements, and let me, for the more general audience, convert some of that academic language into something that makes a little sense to you. So, in Elise's first semester, she achieved 3 high distinctions and an overall subject average of 85%. And that first semester obviously set the benchmark for what was to follow. Elise then went on and achieved either a distinction or high distinction in every single subject that she attempted and completed. Her overall average mark across all of the subjects that she completed here at Bond was 87%. And she made it over 90% on 7 occasions. As you've heard, she was the best student in particular classes on 8 occasions. She was placed on the Vice-Chancellor's list for academic excellence, and she's been presented with the Bond Business Schools Award for EMBA Excellence. Elise, I know your husband is somewhere out here, and there he is, and he would be suitably proud of you, as indeed I think your grandfather would be. Ladies and gentlemen, please thank Elise Gore. Could I ask all the graduates to please be standing? So, ladies and gentlemen, we have some quirky traditions in academe from time to time. We dress up in funny clothes, we try and make funny speeches, but here at this university we have one other, which is the charge. And the charge was instigated back at our very first graduation ceremony. And it's a challenge to our graduates. So I'll read the charge and then ask you whether you accept the challenge. I charge you as graduates of Bond University to demonstrate at all times the highest moral and ethical standards, to apply your learnings and education to the benefit of society, to pursue the highest standards in all of your endeavours with excellence always your aim, and to forever support and enhance the reputation of your university through engagement as a proud alumni. Graduates, do you accept that charge? Yes. I was hoping they might be a little better than that. Come on, I've built you up. Graduates, do you accept that charge? Yes. Thank you. May now be seated. So as our valedictorian spoke so eloquently, there are a very large number of people who deserve thanks. To our graduates, many of those are in the audience here today. Your spouses, your parents, your grandparents, wider members of your family, your friends, in some cases just anonymous donors and benefactors who you've never met, who have supported you financially through your studies. But there will also be many people who are unable to be here today. And given the diversity of our student population, I'm sure that in several cases they're in different time zones and certainly several thousand miles away. Can you please make an effort to reach out to those individuals that have supported you through your journey here? Don't do it by text. Don't do it by Facebook. If there's one thing that we've taught you is the value of personal relationships and personal interactions. In the age of the robots, which will no doubt come, people and their interactions will be king. So reach out today to those people that have made such a difference to your life. And as you leave the hall, and you will fill the restaurants around the Gold Coast, both for lunches and I'm sure long afternoons and even dinners. And I often think when the Gold Coast City Council talks about the economic drivers of the economy and they talk about supercar events and the magic millions and so on, I think they should also add on their Bond graduation days. As you enjoy the day that's ahead of you, I trust that you do take a moment just to reflect on your own journeys and how you have arrived here, because each of you has your own story to tell, and there will no doubt have been stories of great determination, great highs, but also possibly some great lows as well. Our occasional speaker gave a magnificent address about resilience. Today is one of those days of great highs, but I cannot stand here and say that the rest of your life will be like that. I trust, though, in those days, which may be somewhat darker, that you find great strength in your times here at the university. You find great strength in the personal networks that you've built up. And you recognise that we are only a phone call or an email away. So those relationships you have forged with your lecturers and your professors and the support staff, recognise that we'll always be here for you. But recognise with that you carry a responsibility, and that responsibility is to always represent this university as if it is part of your family. So despite the magnificence of the surrounds and the infrastructure that we have here, and despite the excellence of our academic programs, this university is forged on the basis of people. And so your behaviours, your standards, your actions, your moral compass, your ethics will define not just you, but they will define how people regard this university. So always remember that. I thank you all for embracing this university. I don't normally do this, but there are two people I would like to pay particular acknowledgement to. And we are somewhat in the unusual situation where we have two student presidents who are graduating today. So to Mr. Ed Langley and to Mr. Christian Whitfield, gentlemen, it's been a great pleasure. I wish you well. So, ladies and gentlemen, that brings us pretty close to a close. Our graduates have behaved magnificently, all apart from one. No. But you, our audience, have been extraordinarily patient, extraordinarily appreciative, and very polite. And at Bond, we like to celebrate. So I ask you to join with me to really make a bit of noise this time for the latest graduates from Bond University. Well done.